All right, wonderful. Hello, traders, and welcome to today's webinar. My name is Yaroslav Berchenko. I'm a market analyst at Olymptrade, and today's webinar is a must-watch for all traders. If you seriously want to make money and not just flirt with the markets, well, you're going to need to watch this video from start to finish because I'll give you guys in a quick 25-30-minute video all the tips to making proper business accounting practices to your trading. We'll also talk about what you'll need to watch in this video, the making trading ways of preserving your emotional capital. All right. Uh, one sec, you guys, just one sec. Okay, what I wanted to talk to you guys about is, first of all, the background before we get too far into the webinar. How many of you prefer it in a dark theme? And how many of you prefer it in a light theme? The reason I'm asking is because a lot of our users are on cell phones, and so to some of you, white may be better. To some of you, the dark background will be better. So I'll leave that on right now for you to decide. Make sure to write that out in chat. I want to give a hello and a warm welcome to Teddy Paul and Mustafa Nouri. Welcome, you guys. So moving on with once you guys answer how the picture is, I wanted to ask you guys to sign up to the channel, right? It's super important. It's easy and it brings everybody together in a community. We can help each other out, and we put out new content every single week. We do events every week, which will have something special for you planned for next week. So this way you can become a big part of this, trader family, and we're all looking to improve our business. And that's what we're talking about today. I think the only way to approach trading is as a business. What do you guys think? It's super important to take responsibility and think everything through. It's super important to get the proper education, which is what you guys are doing now. And if you've not done so, and I don't mean like university education, I mean you have to do trading yourself. You have to learn a little bit more about trading every single day. And day trading, this process of sitting in front of the markets every single day, when you make more than 3 trades a day, it's like a full-time job. It can really be taxing on your emotions. It can be taxing on your wallet if you do it wrong. And so there's another way of trading. I want to talk to you guys about it today, and that's investing, right? You don't necessarily have to trade intraday. You can have a full-time job and do your homework, do your research on the weekends, and then plug in when the markets open on Monday and use technical analysis to open up a proper position. And so there's different ways that you can trade. There's different platforms that you can use. I want to go ahead and see black dark theme. So okay, we'll keep it on black and dark theme. Thank you guys so much for writing that. All right, I do find it on my eyes because I'm looking at the screens all day. It's easier. The black screen, the dark screen is easier on me. And one other thing I wanted to share with you guys is the trade history. So recently I made a monster trade on the dollar yen, and it got my account back over 60. Right, I could have held the trade even longer, but as you guys can see, I got in right around here and I caught the initial movement after it finished its correction. I was actually even a few days that I could have made that trade, and till this day the yen has still continued growing. This was just a Fibonacci sequence that I used. And so in my experience, the best trades that have been for me were on the Forex platform. So we have 3 platforms for you guys to choose from: fixed time, Forex, and stocks. And I made the most amount of money on currencies and metals. So gold and currencies. And the reason for this, guys, is pretty simple. It's pretty simple. Right here, when we have the amount and we have the multiplier, the higher the multiplier, the larger your income you have. And with Forex, one of the beauties of it that you don't find in the FTT platform is that it is based on time. And on the Forex platform, you control your time. You control the time that you want to keep the trade open or closed, and there's quite a large stop loss that allows you that opportunity to kind of sit through something. But having said that, you never want to be sitting through something. You always want to use a strategy that goes after this initial movement up. So this is on the daily candle, but if you drop down to the hourly graph, you can see that there was a period of turnaround, that you could see the market going flat and then making a series of higher lows. See this kind of series of higher lows, and then we have a series of higher highs. That was the major indication that we're turning around. And then that just continued. What is a trend? It's just a continuous series of higher highs and higher lows. And so that's what I wanted to share you guys before we get into what trading as a business should look like. And now that we're all here, I think everybody has caught up and plugged in. We're going to start with what is exactly the steps you should take. Number one, you have to be here as a businessman. You have to have already matured to the plan that you need to have the right expectations, right? Trading is not gambling. It's not a get rich quick scheme. It's a slow and tedious process of constantly making better gains. If you look at my last 3 trades, minus 3,000, minus 3,000, minus 1,500, minus 1,000, minus 1,500. And then we had a challenge that I participated in. And then some of the big monster trades were the ones that keep my account growing. So this kind of constant dealing with failure, this constant dealing with pressure, with stress, it's something that will never go away. And we'll talk about this. So number one is you need to have the right expectations. We're not all going to get rich overnight. Number two, and you can write this down, you need to be a stand-up guy or gal. When life knocks you down, you have to be able to get back up, find the inner motivation, and then also learn from your mistakes. This is another aspect of mindfulness or mind frame, is you need to be detail oriented. Every aspect of trading is important and should be considered noteworthy. Like, for example, emotions. What you feel inside is important because it affects your trading. And so we'll speak about this a little bit later. But one last thing in mindfulness is you should never have dollar expectations. Like one of the worst practices that I've seen that leads people over that emotional cliff is when they say, I hope to make $1,000 a day. Like, that's a good dream. It's a good aspiration. And when you look back at your P&L and you have solid $1,000 gains, it's a beautiful feeling. It's a wonderful feeling. But you should focus on finding the profitable trades with daily consistency. Focus on the process of trading instead of on what you stand to gain in that day, or what you want to gain, which is even worse. A lot of traders that I know, they don't consider looking at the daily amount. They have right up here where it shows your dollar amount, they have a little sticker. So we all do things differently, but focus on the process. You should, in majority of the time, in your mind, have an end game for how your trading is going to improve instead of how you're going to have more and more money, right? So now we get to the nitty-gritty, a proper business plan. You are your own investor in most cases. You are also your own bank. You're also your own trader. So you need to answer some basic questions for yourself. Number one is, how much money am I setting aside for this? Like, you have a budget of $5,000. So I'm setting aside $1,000 accounts, 5 of them, so that I can look out for risk, look out for problems, look out for accounts getting blown up. And this is something that will happen to you. So it's good to be prepared. And then that $1,000 investment will give you more time, because another thing you need to answer is, how experienced am I? How experienced really are you in trading that you can put live money or real money on a live account? This is something you need to write out in your business plan. How much time are you willing to put into it? That's another important question. Guys, be honest with me in chat if you'd like. How much time and energy are you willing to put into trading? Who's willing to put 3 hours a day? And I'm talking about real life, right? We have families. Some of you may have children. Some of you may work 2 jobs. How do you fit trading in another hour of your free time? Those are the questions you need to be willing to answer, because when you have them on your notebook or on a piece of paper or on a spreadsheet, you can be honest with yourself and you can set proper risk limits, which is another question you should ask yourself. What are your daily risk limits for your trading business? How many of you are willing to risk $3,000 per trade? How many of you are only willing to risk $1,000 per trade? I know many businesses that started out with $1 per trade, and when they showed really good statistics, when they showed a really good history, they upped that to 10. And then they up that to 100, right? And I'll show you how you can grow an account, but you still have to pay yourself first. So proper business plan is number 2. It's after mind frame. Number 3 is proper accounting practices. And now I'll show you guys some good examples. So here's an example of a proper trade journal. How many of you keep a trade journal? Please go ahead and answer in chat. I'll go ahead and share this screen with you guys. All right, so if you do have any questions, we have a wonderful person in support helping us out. So feel free to ask those in chat. This is a live webinar. Today is the 14th of June. So we are moving right along to discussing what a trade journal looks like. Guys, have a look at this. So this is just one way of setting this up. You add the date, you add the time span of the trade, you describe the asset, where the trade was, right, up or down, when you entered, when you exited, if it was a partial exit, like you let it run on or you closed it too early, what the target price was, and the number of trades. But again, this is just one example, guys. I don't want to get too lost in this, but this is something you definitely want to monitor. Now, this was my example that I would give to traders for the beginning in Olymp trade. You want to have the basics, but think about it. You open up a coffee shop and you don't know how much cocoa you're buying. You don't know what your salaries are. You don't know what the schedule is for all of your employees. This is exactly what a trade journal is. It is your daily business routine that you then go on to monitor. And notice how I have here in the end strategy, you want to type out exactly why you opened this. Like, I opened the trade due to a cross of moving averages. You also want to put in a photo. Now I'll show you guys how I do this. My way, I believe, is the most effective, and I'll share with you snippets from my trade journal. But this is one of the other ways you can do it, is you can keep track yourself in Excel, in Google Docs, and you want to have the main statistics that you keep track of. One other thing you can add is emotions, and another thing is something that you learned. But this is a little bit more advanced, and this takes more thoughtfulness, and it also takes a little bit of a different journal. But for all of you that Excel can perform basic mathematical procedures, like expectancy of your trade, of what your best asset to trade is. Like, you can have a plus or minus, and then you can add up where all your pluses are, and then see where all of your most profitable trades. You can check out the quantity of your trades. So it's a very powerful tool that you can program with a lot of different mathematical analysis that you can perform on this data. Now, if you want to go the easy way, there are actually trade journals out there for you. Now, these are the ones that I've had some experience with. These are considered the top trading journals. So Edgewonk, I personally have worked with Edgewonk. It's a group of programmers from New Zealand, I believe, and they created this really interactive trade journal, and it allows you, again, to do some of those basic calculations that I told you in Excel, but you don't have to program this yourself. And it has a really cool feature. It's the future simulator. It'll mimic the results you've had. Again, this is a bad practice in markets. You can never go on your previous results, but nonetheless, this kind of simulator can put together an understanding of where your trade strategy is going, right? Are you going to make money in the long term, or are you going to fall? Which is, again, something you can do if you just program it yourself. You can also find trade journals online. So I wanted to go through Edgewonk. Edgewonk was a really good one. I had TradeSync, looks good. I haven't had any time to play around with it myself. It looks pretty. Like, we all like the dark font, and it gives you like some statistics on your performance, which is nice. TraderView is another trading platform that I had the pleasure of working with. Now, I love the auto import feature because it imports your data from the trade journal that you have on Excel, and you can after you download their program, you can actually kind of manage your previous trade journal and then upload all that data. Some categories will not fit in, but most of the even comment section, even that fits in right into their program. So I thought it was really nice. And then it shows you the risk analysis of your trades, which it shows you, you know, how much risk you've taken on. That was important to me when I was looking for investors into my trading business. That allowed me to show what my downside is, right? Nobody wants to open up their bank account and see, oh my goodness, we're down 20% out of our initial investment. No investor wants to see that, and this risk analysis tool is actually something that allows you to see it. So Trademetria is something that you can check out. I have had no experience in working with it. And then Microsoft Excel, just like I showed you guys. So this is the Excel version. This is on Overdrive, Microsoft.com. One last thing, I want to show you what my trading journal what it looks like. So I take kind of notes, and I also take photos. Excuse me, like if there's some poor language. I also write down my initial thoughts for the day. I take some key levels, like here I was using ovals as kind of the price action, something to monitor the price action. And then another thing is, what's it called? Write down your emotions. Write down your emotions, because this is a key part of your trading, and we'll speak a little bit about it later as we move on. But you really want to go through the process of writing down everything that impacts your business. That is, in a nutshell, proper accounting. I'm going to have a quick look to see if there's anything in chat that I can help you guys with. Hey, Manny Fun, welcome you guys. There's a lot of viewers, so chat is really active. I'm sorry if I missed something myself. I do have support in chat, so guys, go ahead and ask them anything you want. So we're moving right along. We have lots of time. Let's continue. So after proper accounting, what you want to do for your trading business is pay yourself first. I think this rule should be number one on top of Mindframe. Let's go ahead and move it there. So pay yourself first. I usually, when I trade, I have a goal of making 100% of my account and then taking that money off. So if my initial investment was $100, when my account gets to $200, I take $100, put it in my pocket, and say, good job, job well done. As you get better, as you get more experienced, as you make more money and then put more money in your trading business, the trading business will grow, right? When I deposited my first $1,000, it quickly became $4,000 over the course of a week, right? That's when you first fall in love with what trading is. And afterwards, a loss of $2,000, a loss of $2,000 crippled my account. And each time I would lose $2,000, I would take a break, right? I would take some time off to think about my strategy, to go through my history, go through my trades. And that's basically how my trading history started, right? And I'll give you guys, I think this is what we have to do next, is talk about first practice on a demo account. I can't stress this enough, that you need to have, like, the way you want to approach trading as your business is the way you should trade on the demo account for 3 months at least. I know it sounds like very basic and simple, but you won't believe how many people don't do that. You need to practice and have proof that your trading strategy works. Have proof that you can make money, and then put on real money into a live account. So pay yourself first. One other thing you can do is, after you make 100% in order to grow your account, so this is what I didn't explain. After I lost $4,000, I started once again with $1,000. Remember, it was that $5,000 set aside. Doesn't impact my life, doesn't impact my family. 5 attempts to make trading business work. And on the second attempt, when I deposited $1,000, it was a long time before I got to $2,000. And that's when I said to myself, okay, every $2,000 I make, I'm putting them in my pocket. That's when that rule kind of came into play. And from then, it was even taking $1,000 off the trading account, $5,000. So I'm at $2,000 already. And every time that I make money and I want to say, feel that money, use that money, then I would take it off the account, right? Sometimes as little as $1,000 or $500, but it's paying myself first. And I could always feel that I wanted to get back to work. I always wanted to get back into trading. And it's that little extra that you put in your pocket, it feels good. And this is a part of controlling your emotional capital, right? So tip number 5, you want to have a good work-life balance. I can't explain and also have like personal journals that I keep as well. They help to diversify your life. They help to. I also write down trading books and trading notes. I also follow the playbook. Like I have my own trades that I have kind of drawn out, and I go back to my playbook once in a while. Like what trade is working, what trade is not working. So that's kind of the some trades are just getting created, right? There I have actually yet to come back to them, but some new ideas are coming into your trading business all the time, and it's a good practice to try out new and cool techniques that you may have learned. It's always a growth process. So have a work-life balance. Again, back to the basics: do sports, travel, fall in love, but there's this crazy but learn to control emotions, right? Whenever you fall in love, the next thing that you're going to do is fall out of love. I mean, it's possible, right? It's possible. Think about the possibilities. And so when we have that kind of possibility, you need to protect your trading business, because what happens when you fall in love and things don't work out? It goes to say that there's usually an emotional problem. There's a big rock that's right here in the middle of your soul, and it hurts, and it's hard to trade. And that's when you want to start taking your emotional notes. Right here in the next in the next category, we can write emotions and outcome, or lesson learned. I'm going to write it as LL, because in my trade journals, as I became more experienced, I needed to monitor this. That's right, you heard right. As you get more experienced, you spend more time monitoring your emotions. You spend more time what you learned. I think that's better. What you learned, because each trade that you take is an opportunity to learn, and those of us that lose the most are the ones that are the slowest to learn from their mistakes. But emotions, you can also write that in your trade journal. Like, let me see if I have a good example right here in my trade journal, where I would split the page. So something like this, I would split the page and talk about emotions and different entry signals that I would take. So you can split it. I split it vertically. You can split it down the page like this. And on one side, you can have your assets, opening, closing, quote, income, status, strategy, result, emotions, and then on the other side, you talk about emotions. Like I was feeling this kind of elated feeling, or I was getting tired after watching the ticker all day. So a lot of important stuff can be gathered from documenting your emotions and documenting the lessons that you learned. And again, I think is mandatory to a trading business. We want to approach this as a business. So you're responsible. We're finishing up the list, guys. It's really that simple. It's the same thing as you would open up any other kind of business. Use a checklist. This is key. Use a checklist. On my table, there's usually always something that goes. I go follow 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This is what you want to look at before you open trades. If you're just a beginner trader and you found something that works, you want to write it down and then use it to the T. So the reason I say this is, how many times have you guys opened up a trade and then some news came out like 20 minutes later when you're first starting, and the news can be, it's 5:30, the US markets are opening. This is super important, because when the US markets open, when the European traders come online, they change the market landscape no matter what asset you're trading. Bitcoin, the S&P 500 futures, anything, right? You're trading some sort of cryptocurrency. As soon as those traders come online, they come to work, there's big money in the markets. Big money floods the market. And so you're responsible. Learn from your mistakes. Use a checklist. And we went through this, but there's 3 platforms to choose from. Pick the one that works best for you. Pick the one that fits into your business. And then last but not least, it's conserve your emotional capital. We kind of covered this in other parts of the webinar. But what you want to do is think about how much stress you have. Think about how tired you are. Think about where you spend your energy, right? Watching those emotional videos on YouTube, laughing your butt off, will that help you to concentrate at work? Will that help you to stabilize and kind of work with any situation the market presents to you? The market really loves forward thinking people. That's what it is. It's just a bunch of forward thinking people coming together. And it likes to work with levels ahead of time. So if you see on my graphs, I have a lot of Fibonacci retracement levels. This is the kind of emotional levels of nature, right? The wave-like patterns of human emotions, of natural progression, of different kind of parts of nature, right? They all work through the Fibonacci sequence, and so this is kind of my secret tool of forecasting the future of these wave patterns in a way. So that's kind of it. We're coming to the end of the webinar, you guys. We still have some time. We have a very special event coming out for you. So what I want to remind you to do is to subscribe and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. So this is the video for today. Go ahead and please hit that like button. It really matters a lot. And if you haven't already done so, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. It's super important because it allows you to become a part of the community, and most importantly is to share good videos. Like your like helps to share good content, get it circulating around YouTube, and it also gives you good karma, right? Every time you send and give love, you inevitably receive it. So that's it for kind of what I wanted to say about or during the webinar. We have a very special event coming up for you next week. It's a challenge. It'll be an opportunity for you to win prizes, but we're also going to pack in incredible live performances and useful knowledge. And so, like I said, if you haven't done so, make sure to subscribe to the channel and leave a like underneath the video. Right? So we'll bring you guys the best stuff, and we have a webinar tomorrow that you also definitely don't want to miss. Thank you all so much for coming today, for watching. My name is Yaroslav Burchenko. It's been a blast to be here with you. I hope you learned something new. I hope that this information helps you in your trading. If it did, go ahead and leave a comment below the video, and of course save it to your favorite videos if you do watch videos yet again, rewatch them. So thank you all so much for coming. Thank you for your support, and I wish you guys good luck trading out there, and see you all next time. Peace.